Hello, and welcome back.
Hey there! How are you today?
I'm good. Excited about today's topic. It's something many English learners struggle with.
Absolutely. So what are we talking about today?
Today's topic is speaking English without fear. We'll explore why so many people feel afraid when speaking English and how to overcome that fear step by step.
That's such a powerful subject. I've met many learners who say, I know grammar, I understand English, but I'm too afraid to speak.
Yes, I hear that all the time. So let's jump into Chapter 1, where does the fear come from? So let's begin with the big question. Why do you think people feel afraid to speak English?
Well, I think fear usually comes from two places. First, people are afraid of making mistakes. And second, they're afraid of being judged.
Exactly. That fear of making a mistake, it's huge. People feel like if I say the wrong word, others will laugh or think I'm not smart.
But here's the truth. Making mistakes is part of learning. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. Have you ever heard a native speaker say, he don't know? It happens.
Yes, I hear that kind of thing all the time, but we don't judge them, right?
Right. So why should learners feel bad about a mistake? In fact, every mistake is a step forward.
That's a great point. I remember when I was learning a new language, I was so afraid to speak. I always thought people would laugh at my accent. Actually, no. Most people were really kind. Some even said, wow, your language is good, even if it wasn't perfect. The important thing was that I tried.
That's such a valuable story. I think learners need to hear that. Most people are not trying to judge you. They appreciate that you're learning their language.
Exactly. And it's okay to feel nervous, but we don't have to let that nervous feeling stop us.
Yes, fear is normal, but it doesn't have to control you. Let's talk about where this fear starts. Is it from school? From family?
In many cases, yes. I've heard stories from learners who were laughed at in class or corrected in a harsh way. That kind of experience stays in your mind.
True. If your teacher always focused on your mistakes, you might feel like you have to be perfect all the time.
And that's not realistic. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is.
I love that. Communication, not perfection.
Let's try something. Imagine this. You're at a coffee shop and you want to order in English, but you're nervous. What are you thinking?
Maybe I'm thinking, what if I say it wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if they laugh?
Yes. Now let's flip the situation. Imagine someone is trying to speak your language. Their sentence isn't perfect, but you understand. What do you feel?
Honestly, I feel proud of them. I want to help them. I never think, oh, what a silly person.
Exactly. And most people feel the same way about you when you speak English.
So maybe the fear is coming from inside our heads, not from other people.
That's the key. The fear is internal. It's our thoughts saying, don't speak, you'll mess up.
And the best way to fight that fear is to speak anyway.
Yes, even small conversations help. Say hello to someone, ask a question, order food. These little things build your confidence.
Also, I think learners should stop waiting until they're ready. That day never comes.
Right. If you wait until you're perfect, you'll never start. But if you start now, even with mistakes, you'll improve much faster.
I once read a quote, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great."
I love that. It's so true. And remember, fear often disappears when you take action. The first few words might be scary, but after that, it gets easier.
And every time you speak, even just a little, you become more comfortable.
So here's a challenge for our listeners. Today, speak one sentence in English to someone. Just one sentence. It can be simple. How are you? Nice to meet you. One coffee, please.
Yes, take that small step. It's not about being perfect, it's about being brave.
So to wrap up this chapter, fear comes from many places: our past experiences, our own thoughts, pressure to be perfect, but we can overcome it by taking small, daily steps to speak.
And in the next chapter, we'll talk about building your confidence in English, even if you're shy or introverted.
So don't miss it. Keep listening, keep learning, and most of all, keep speaking. So let's get into it. What do we mean by building confidence?
Confidence means trusting yourself. It means believing that even if you make mistakes, you can still communicate.
And here's the good news. Confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build over time.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about how to do that, even if you're shy or you've never spoken English in public before.
Let's start with the first step. Start small. You don't need to have a 10-minute conversation on day one.
Yes, you can begin by just saying one word out loud. For example, look around you and say the names of things in English. Table, chair, window.
Exactly. This helps your brain and mouth get used to producing English sounds. Even if no one is around, this helps you gain confidence.
Then try short phrases. It's a table. This is my chair. I see a window. Easy, right?
Totally. You're not performing on a stage, you're just practicing. That's where confidence begins.
Here's one of my favorite tips. Talk to yourself in English.
Yes, I do this when I learn languages. You can describe what you're doing. For example, I'm brushing my teeth now. I'm cooking eggs. I'm walking to the bus stop.
It sounds silly, but it works. The more you hear your own voice in English, the less strange it feels. You become your own speaking partner.
And there's no pressure. No one is judging you. You can try again and again. That's freedom.
This next step changed everything for one of my students, recording yourself speaking English.
Yes, when you record your voice, you can listen back, hear your pronunciation, and notice what you're good at and what you need to work on.
And even better, you'll hear your progress. A month from now, you'll listen to your old recording and think, wow, I sound better now.
It's like a confidence mirror. You can actually see your growth.
A lot of learners wait until they're fluent to feel proud, but that's too far in the future.
Exactly. You need to celebrate every step. Did you say your first full sentence in English today? Great, that's a win.
Did you ask a question in English, even if it was short? Amazing! You're doing it.
This builds momentum. Each small success makes you more confident.
Let's talk about the voice inside your head. Is it supporting you or stopping you?
That inner voice is powerful. If you're always saying, I'm bad at English or I can't speak, you'll believe it.
So, change the voice. Say, I'm learning every day. I'm improving. I'm proud of myself for trying.
This may sound simple, but positive self-talk trains your brain to feel confident.
Another tip, practice with people who make you feel safe. Maybe a classmate, a tutor, or a friend who speaks English.
Yes, when you know someone won't laugh or judge you, it's easier to speak.
You don't have to practice with native speakers only. Practice with anyone who's kind and supportive.
Even better if they're learning English too. You can help each other grow.
This one is big. Don't compare yourself to others.
Yes, maybe someone else speaks faster than you or has a better accent. So what?
Everyone's journey is different. Focus on your own progress.
Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not someone else today.
So, to build confidence in English, start small talk. Talk to yourself. Record your voice. Celebrate small wins. Use positive self-talk. Practice with safe people. And stop comparing yourself to others.
Confidence grows with practice, not perfection. The more you speak, the stronger your confidence muscle becomes.
And remember, confidence doesn't mean you never feel nervous. It means you speak even when you feel nervous.
So here's your challenge for today. Record yourself saying 3 sentences in English. Listen back. Smile. You did it.
We believe in you. You are becoming more confident, one sentence at a time. Let's start with this idea. Create your own English environment.
Yes, even if everyone around you speaks your native language, you can surround yourself with English.
Change the language on your phone and computer to English. Follow English-speaking YouTube channels like this one.
Watch English shows with subtitles. Read English articles. Label things in your house with English words. Mirror, door, fridge.
The more English you see and hear, the more natural it becomes in your daily life.
Now let's talk about speaking. You don't need to live in London or New York to find someone to talk to in English.
Exactly. There are so many online platforms where you can connect with people. Language exchange apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or Speaky are great.
Or join English-speaking Facebook groups, Reddit communities, or online forums. Some people even find speaking partners on Instagram.
Yes, you can comment in English, join live chats, or start a conversation with someone who's learning your language too.
And don't forget, many learners use Zoom or Skype to practice with tutors or language partners.
Here's another tip. Use English at home, even if you're alone.
Yes, talk to yourself. Narrate your actions. Practice short conversations in front of the mirror.
You can even write a script and act it out. Pretend you're ordering food, making a phone call, or giving a presentation.
Turn your home into your practice zone. Make it fun.
How about practicing English during daily tasks, like when you go shopping or take public transport?
Perfect! For example, while walking through the supermarket, you can say to yourself, I need some milk. Where is the bread? This apple looks fresh.
You're turning your regular life into a language lesson.
Exactly. It's not about finding time to study. It's about making English part of your everyday life.
Here's something a lot of learners forget. Many cities, even in non-English speaking countries, have English clubs or meetup groups.
Yes, look for language exchange meetups, international student groups, or English movie nights. You'd be surprised how many opportunities are out there.
Even your local library or community center might have something.
And if not, start your own group. Invite 2 or 3 friends who want to practice. Make it weekly.
Even a small group can create big confidence. A lot of learners listen to English but don't take the next step.
Right. Listening is great, but to practice speaking, you need to respond.
Try this. Watch a video or podcast in English. Pause after each sentence and repeat it.
Even better, try answering questions aloud. For example, if the video says, "What's your favorite food?" Pause it and answer, "My favorite food is pizza."
It's called active listening. You're training your brain to speak, not just understand.
And here's a creative idea. Imagine conversations in English.
That sounds fun. Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine you're in a restaurant. The waiter asks, "What would you like to order?" You imagine yourself saying, "I'll have a cheeseburger, please."
You're building the language in your mind, and your brain doesn't know the difference between a real and imagined situation.
Exactly. It's powerful practice, and it prepares you for real conversations.
Let's finish with a mindset shift. Be curious, not perfect.
Yes. If you hear a word you don't know, look it up. Ask questions. Use it in a sentence.
Be like a child learning their first words. Don't be afraid to try, to play, to make mistakes.
And remember, you don't have to live in an English-speaking country. You just have to be creative and consistent.
So here's your challenge. Practice speaking English during your daily routine. Choose 3 things you do today and say them out loud in English.
For example, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making coffee. I'm walking to work.
Do that every day, and your speaking confidence will grow.
In our next chapter, we'll talk about how to stop worrying about your accent and focus on clear communication.
Thanks for listening. Stay strong, keep practicing, and speak English without fear. Let's begin with a fact. Everyone has an accent, even native speakers.
Yes, someone from Texas has a different accent than someone from London or Australia or Canada. Even inside the same country, people sound different.
So having an accent doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you're unique.
Exactly. Your accent is part of your identity. It shows where you're from. It tells your story.
When students say, "I hate my accent," what they really mean is, "I'm afraid people won't understand me."
Yes, but here's the thing. Most people don't care about your accent. They just want to understand what you're saying.
So don't focus on trying to hide your accent. Focus on making your English clear.
That's the real key. Clear English, not perfect English.
Let's talk about how to be clear when you speak English.
Good idea. First, slow down. Many learners speak too fast because they want to sound fluent.
But speed without clarity is not fluency. Slow, clear speech is much easier to understand.
Next, open your mouth when you speak. Don't mumble. Pronounce the full word. For example, say important, not important or imprint.
And pause between sentences. This gives your listener time to follow you.
Also, practice word stress. For example, say relax, not relax. The stress is on the second syllable.
Here's something important. Accent and pronunciation are not the same thing.
Right. Your accent is your natural sound. Your pronunciation is how well you say the words.
You don't need to change your accent, but you can improve your pronunciation to be more understandable.
Think about it like this. You can keep your musical style, but you tune your instrument so the sound is clear.
Let's do an example. I'll say the same sentence two ways.
Okay.
First, I want to ask you about that song.
Wow, that was hard to understand.
Now, I want to ask you about that song.
Much better. Same words, but different delivery.
This shows you don't need to change your accent. Just slow down and pronounce clearly.
Here's something emotional but true. A lot of learners feel ashamed of how they sound.
Yes, and that's heartbreaking because your voice matters. Your voice is beautiful. It's yours.
Don't let fear of your accent silence you. Your ideas are more important than your pronunciation.
People want to hear you, not just your grammar. They want your stories, your experience, your heart.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever watched a movie where an actor had a strong accent?
Of course, and sometimes I need subtitles, but I still understand.
Right. The world is full of accents, and that's a beautiful thing. You don't have to erase yours.
You just need to learn to speak clearly, with confidence.
Here are 5 tips to improve clarity while keeping your accent. 1. Record yourself speaking and listen back. 2. Practice key words slowly and clearly. 3. Use speech shadowing. Repeat after native speakers. 4. Focus on word stress and sentence rhythm. 5. Ask a friend or teacher to give you feedback on pronunciation.
And here's a bonus. Smile when you speak. It helps you open your mouth and sound friendlier and clearer. Let's end with this. Don't be afraid of sounding foreign. Be proud of where you come from.
Yes, English is a global language, and your voice is part of that global sound.
So stop trying to sound like a native speaker and start speaking like yourself.
Because you're not trying to impress people, you're trying to connect.
And when you speak with confidence, no one notices your accent. They notice your message.
Today's challenge. Record yourself saying 3 sentences slowly and clearly. For example, I'm learning to speak English with confidence. My voice is important. I will not be afraid to speak English.
Listen to your voice and smile. You're not trying to sound like someone else, you're becoming the best version of you.
Let's start with a question. Why do we translate in our heads?
Well, it's natural. We grew up speaking one language, so our brain always tries to go back to it when we're learning something new.
Right. And when we learn new vocabulary, we usually match it to our native language first.
But here's the problem. If you always need to translate, you'll always speak slowly, and you'll never feel free when you speak English.
So the goal is to connect English words directly to ideas, not to your first language.
Let's begin with something easy. Use English words for everyday objects around you.
Look around the room and say chair, window, phone, light, notebook. Say them out loud or in your head.
When you do this every day, your brain starts to connect objects with English words, not your native words.
This is step 1 in building your English brain.
Here's a powerful technique. Talk to yourself in English.
Yes! Describe what you're doing while you do it. For example, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making coffee. I'm leaving for work.
This helps your brain practice thinking in English without waiting for someone to talk to you.
The more you do it, the faster and more automatic it becomes.
Start asking yourself easy questions in English.
Like, what time is it? What am I doing? What will I eat for dinner?
And then answer, it's 7:30. I'm listening to a podcast. I'll make some rice.
You can do this on your way to work, in the shower, or while cooking. Just practice simple Q&A.
When you learn a new word, try not to use your native language to define it.
Instead, use English to explain the word. For example, don't say apple equals manzana. Say, an apple is a fruit. It's red or green. It tastes sweet.
This helps you think within the English system, not translate from your native language.
This is a secret tip that works. Use pictures in your mind.
Yes! Instead of seeing the word dog and thinking perro in Spanish, for example, see a picture of a dog. Hear the word dog and see the animal in your mind.
That way, you're connecting English words directly to meaning, not to your first language.
This makes speaking faster, smoother, and more natural.
Here's a fun one. Do things you enjoy.
Watch TV shows, read stories, play games, or listen to music in English.
This helps you think in English without even trying. Your brain starts picking up patterns, grammar, and rhythm naturally.
You stop studying and start living in English.
Try setting a special time every day, maybe 15 or 30 minutes, when you only use English.
During this time, think, speak, write, or even dream in English. No translation
And most important, you will be training your brain to think in English.
Here's your challenge. For the next 15 minutes, only use English in your mind.
Describe what you see. Think about what you're doing. Ask and answer questions in your head.
Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about mistakes. Just think in English, freely and naturally.
And tomorrow, do it again. Little by little, this will change how you speak.
Let's be honest. When someone laughs at your English, it feels personal, like they're laughing at you, not just your words.
And it's even worse when you're trying your best. You feel vulnerable. You're using your voice, and someone makes fun of it.
That experience can stick with you. It can make you afraid to speak again.
But here's the truth. Their laughter says more about them than it says about you.
Making mistakes is a part of learning. In fact, it means you're brave enough to try.
That's right. People who never make mistakes are usually not learning anything new.
So when you make a grammar mistake or say the wrong word, it doesn't mean you're bad at English.
It means you're in the process of becoming great at English.
Let's talk about what you can do if someone laughs at you or corrects you in a mean way.
First of all, pause and breathe. Don't panic. Stay calm.
Then, remind yourself, I'm learning. I'm brave. I'm improving.
You don't have to argue or fight, but you can say something polite but powerful like, I'm still learning. Please be patient. Can you help me understand this better? Everyone starts somewhere.
You're standing up for yourself with kindness and strength.
Sometimes the people who laugh at your English aren't even fluent themselves.
Exactly. Maybe they know some English, or maybe they don't understand how hard it is to learn a new language.
Real language teachers, good people, they never laugh at learners. They support them.
So if someone laughs, remember, they're not your teacher. They're not your guide.
You don't need their approval. You need your own courage.
Here's the good news. Most people will not laugh at your English.
Yes, most people are kind, curious, and supportive. They're impressed that you're learning a second language.
Especially when you travel or meet native speakers, they'll usually encourage you.
So don't let one bad moment make you afraid of all future moments.
Let's share a story. There was a student who ordered coffee in English at a cafe. He accidentally said, I want a large cock.
Oh no, he meant to say a large Coke, as in Coca-Cola, but he said the wrong word.
Some people laughed. He felt embarrassed. But guess what?
He smiled and said, Sorry, I'm learning. And the barista said, You're doing great. Don't stop.
Now, that same student speaks English confidently, and he even laughs at that moment today.
Every mistake is a message. Ask yourself, what did I learn?
Maybe you learned a new word, or maybe you learned how strong you are.
You can turn embarrassment into education.
And you can turn fear into fire, motivation to get better.
Learning a language is not just about vocabulary, it's about mental strength.
You are training your mind to stay calm, focused, and determined, even when it's hard.
That's what courage looks like. Not being perfect, but showing up anyway.
And when someone laughs or criticizes you, let it be fuel, not a wall.
Today's challenge is about building confidence. Say this sentence out loud 3 times. I am proud of myself for learning English. I will not let fear or laughter stop me. I will keep speaking, no matter what.
Write it down. Put it on your wall. Read it every day.
And if someone laughs again, smile, breathe, and say, I'm still learning. I'll speak better tomorrow.
You're stronger than you think. You're smarter than you believe. And your English is growing every day.
Don't let small people make you feel small. Let your voice be louder than your fear.
Because the world needs your voice, your story, your words. Let's be honest. Sometimes English learners speak clearly, but it still sounds a little robotic.
That's not bad. It means you're careful and accurate. But if you want to connect with people, you want to sound more relaxed, more like a native speaker.
So, what does natural English sound like?
It sounds casual, smooth, expressive, and even a little messy.
Yes, natural speakers don't always follow perfect grammar, but they communicate clearly and comfortably.
One quick way to sound more natural? Use contractions.
Native speakers say, I'm happy, not I am happy. She's coming, not she is coming. We don't know, not we do not know.
Using contractions makes you sound faster, smoother, and more fluent.
Let's practice some now. I'm ready. He's busy. They're going home. We're not sure. I can't do it.
Say them with us. The more you say them, the more natural they'll feel.
What is connected speech? It's how native speakers connect words when they speak fast.
For example, what are you doing becomes what you doing. Did you eat yet becomes did you eat yet. Going to becomes gonna, like I'm gonna go.
These aren't bad grammar, they're natural, everyday English.
So don't be afraid to say, I don't know, let me see, give me that, give me that.
It's what real people say all the time.
If you speak flatly, like a robot, it sounds unnatural, even if your words are perfect.
Change your tone depending on the situation. Change your tone depending on the situation.
Are you surprised? Really? I didn't know that. Are you happy? That's amazing. Are you disappointed? Oh, that's too bad.
Don't just say the words. Make them alive.
If you want to sound natural, stop using only textbook phrases.
Here are some real-life, everyday expressions. No way! I can't believe it. Hang on. Wait a moment. That makes sense. I understand. You're kidding. Really? I'm not sure. I don't know exactly.
When you learn new phrases like these, use them. Practice them in real conversations.
They make your English sound like you've lived in the language.
Phrasal verbs are everywhere in natural English.
Here are a few to start with. Wake up. I wake up at 7. Turn on. Turn on the light. Give up. Don't give up. Look for. I'm looking for my keys. Figure out. I'll figure it out.
Use them in short sentences every day. Don't just memorize, speak them. 1. I'm not sure. Pause. 2. You've gotta be kidding. Pause. 3. I don't know, maybe later. 4. Let's hang out sometime. Pause. 5. Sounds good to me.
Great job! Keep practicing those short, real expressions every day.
The biggest reason people don't sound natural? They're too focused on being perfect.
But natural English isn't perfect. It's flexible. It's relaxed.
When you stop stressing about mistakes, you start sounding more real.
Confidence is the secret ingredient to sounding fluent.
Fluent speakers don't think about every word. They focus on meaning.
So don't translate in your head. Don't overthink grammar.
Just say what you mean. Use simple words. Be real.
Speak like a person, not like a textbook.
Here's your challenge. Choose 3 natural expressions or phrasal verbs from today's episode and use them in a conversation today.
If you have no one to talk to yourself or write a short dialogue in your notebook.
Example: Hey, what's up? Not much, just hanging out. Want to grab coffee later? Sure, sounds good.
Practice that kind of English every day, and soon you'll sound like a native. Have you ever been in the middle of a sentence and suddenly you can't remember the next word?
Maybe it's a noun, a verb, or even just a small connecting word, but your brain freezes. You panic.
That's very normal. It happens in your native language too, but you don't worry about it as much.
In English, you might feel pressure to be perfect, but remember this: forgetting is not failure. It's just a part of real conversation.
There are a few reasons why your mind can go blank while speaking English. 1. Nervousness. When you feel nervous, your brain can't focus clearly. 2. Overthinking. You're trying to choose the perfect word instead of just saying something. 3. Not enough speaking practice. Reading and listening aren't enough. Your brain needs to practice producing words too.
So, forgetting words doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means your brain needs time to get comfortable using the language.
So, what should you do when you're speaking and suddenly forget a word?
Here are some smart, simple strategies.
Instead of freezing, try to describe the word using other words.
For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say, The thing you use when it rains. It's like a cover that protects you from water.
Native speakers do this all the time, even when they forget a word in their own language.
Maybe you forget the word delicious. Just say, very good.
Forget complicated? Say, not easy. Forget purchase? Say, buy.
Don't search for difficult vocabulary. Use the words you already know to keep the conversation going.
When you forget a word, you don't have to stop talking. Use fillers to give your brain a second to catch up.
Here are some examples. What's the word? Let me think. It's on the tip of my tongue. You know, that thing you use for…
This keeps the conversation flowing while you recover.
It's okay to ask the person you're talking to, how do you say? What's the word for? Do you know what I mean?
Most people will be happy to help. It shows you're learning and trying.
The most important thing is, don't stop. Keep going. Keep speaking.
Even if your sentence isn't perfect, even if you make a mistake, it's better to finish your thought than to quit halfway.
Let's do a quick example. I'll pretend I forget a word while I'm talking. So, yesterday I went to the place where you buy medicine. What's it called? Oh, the pharmacy. Right, I went to the pharmacy.
Perfect. You didn't stop, you stayed calm, and the word came back. Here's a secret. Native speakers forget words too.
They say things like, what's that word again? You know what I mean. It's like,
So why do we expect English learners to be perfect?
You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be brave enough to keep going.
Let's do a short practice. We'll give you a word. You try to describe it without saying the word.
Ready? 1. To open your eyes in the morning, wake up. 2. The thing you use to clean your teeth, toothbrush. 3. It falls from the sky when it's cold, snow. 4. You wear this on your wrist to see the time, watch.
Great job! This kind of practice will help you think fast, even if you forget the exact word.
Today's challenge, try having a short conversation in English and see what happens when you forget a word.
Use one of the techniques we shared. Describe it. Use a simpler word. Ask for help. Keep going. Forgetting is normal. Struggling is normal. Quitting is the only real mistake.
Keep practicing, keep breathing, and most importantly, keep speaking.
You are becoming more confident every day.
Maybe you live in a country where English isn't spoken, or maybe you're shy, or maybe you just don't have anyone to practice with regularly.
That's okay. You can still become a fluent speaker, even if you're practicing alone.
You just need the right techniques, and that's what we're giving you today.
Talking to yourself is one of the most powerful tools you have.
It might feel strange at first, but it helps your brain get used to producing English without pressure.
You can talk about your day. I just finished eating lunch. It was rice and chicken. Your plans. After this, I'm going to study for 30 minutes. Your feelings. I'm a little tired today, but I feel proud of my progress.
No one is watching. No one is judging. Just speak out loud.
Shadowing is a great technique to build pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency.
Here's how it works. 1. Choose a short video or audio in English. 2. Listen to one sentence. 3. Pause. 4. Repeat exactly what you hear. Same speed, same emotion. 5. Continue with the next sentence.
This is like imitating a native speaker. You're training your mouth and brain to speak naturally. This is a fun exercise you can do anywhere.
Look around you and describe things in English. I see a red chair. It looks comfortable. There's a woman walking with a baby. The sky is clear today. No clouds.
You don't need to be fancy. Just practice saying what you notice.
Another powerful way to improve, record your voice.
Use your phone. Talk for 1 or 2 minutes about anything.
your hobbies, your dreams, your weekend.
Then listen to your recording. Ask yourself, was I clear? Did I pause too much? Can I say it more naturally?
You can re-record and try to improve each time.
Sometimes it's hard to think of what to say, so use speaking prompts.
Here are some examples. Talk about your favorite food. Describe your childhood home. What would you do with $1 million? What's one country you'd like to visit?
Set a timer for 2-3 minutes. Try to speak continuously on that topic. No stopping.
It's great practice to train your fluency.
Reading out loud is great for pronunciation and rhythm.
You can read books, news articles, dialogues, anything. Just don't read silently.
As you read, pay attention to intonation, word stress, and punctuation.
I can't believe it! I can't believe it!
Practicing emotion makes your speaking more natural.
Who says you need 2 people to practice a conversation?
You can play both roles. Try writing a short dialogue and then act it out.
Like this. A. Good morning. Can I help you? B. Yes, I'm looking for a jacket. A. What size are you? B. Medium, please.
Switch voices. Have fun with it. Pretend you're in a real situation.
Here are a few extra ways to practice speaking alone. Sing English songs, memorize and recite movie scenes, practice giving a speech or presentation, teach someone imaginary, explain grammar or vocabulary.
The goal is to keep your mouth moving. The more you speak, the less fear you'll have.
Here's your challenge. Choose one of the techniques from today's episode and try it for just 5 minutes.
You didn't just listen. You learned. You grew. You challenged your fear.
And now, you're no longer just an English learner, you're an English speaker.
Keep speaking. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself.
And always speak English without fear.